Well, hello, social media family. It is Dr. Benita Ledette, the Love Doctor, and I am so excited today. Listen, can you believe we are on episode 11? Can you believe that? The Love Doctor's just been doing her thing and, just been out in the community, bringing love, spreading love, and, just want to show all of her celebrity guests that, hey, love is in the air, but we got to spread it always, whether it's personal, business, or whatever the case may be. But I'm so excited today because I have a special guest online. So I need you to tag, share, post, let all your friends know that they do not want to miss this episode. They don't want to miss this because this young man that I have on, that I'm bringing on today, he is about to give us life. Do you hear me? I'm telling you life. He's about to give you some nuggets. So get your pen, your paper, your iPad, your wine, your popcorn, everything else that you need because this is about to be a good show. Okay. So, without further ado, let me introduce Mr. Demetrius Early. Well,
Hello.
hello. How are you today?
I'm fantastic. Thanks so much for having me. And I'm so excited to be able to be a part of something I think is the most powerful commodity in the world. And we know it to be known as love.
Yes, absolutely. I know that you're popular and you're, a celebrity and a lot of people know you and all those things. For the people that don't know you, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us what you do. Let us know how you make the world a better place and everything that you got going on right now. Well, I'll tell you what, we won't tell them everything. Just introduce yourself and let them know who you are, your business and what you do. We'll save the good stuff for later.
My name is Demetrius Early. I am a proud husband of Miss Katrina Early. And I have children, 6 grandchildren. So, I mean, I'm a family man. And so I believe that to have financial freedom is uh, a major important thing that we should have to be able to position ourselves to create the quality of life we want to live. And so I've been through so many ups and downs in life. I wanted to let my life mean something to be able to help other people be able to experience that quality well and play a part in doing so. And so my business is it's called Business Advanced Business Consulting. And what is we actually teach and educate people how to position themselves from a financial standpoint and also understand that your finances directly connect how you live your life. So it's a holistic type concept, but advanced business consulting specializes in consulting with individuals to help them live, also help them get to the next level. So I consider myself to be hashtag the next level guy.
Yes, and absolutely you are. Yes, you are. I just want to say that it has been my pleasure to be introduced to you because I know in this season that God is connecting me with everyone that we're all winners. We're all winning together, and so I just appreciate that the connection that you have with my husband and myself. We know that we have some things coming up the pipeline that's just gonna bless both of our families, and I'm very fortunate to be a part of that. So let me just say, when you come on the Love Doctor Conversations, we cannot start this conversation without talking a little bit about love and relationships. The first thing I like when I ask you to introduce yourself is the first thing you introduce was your beautiful other half. Like that's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Like that's everything, So kudos to you for just, putting the wife on the forefront and, speaking that you're a family man and all of that. Like that was first and foremost before you even introduced the business and what you did. Like I love that. So when all of my guests come on, I always ask them to define love. Can you define love to me? What is love to you? What does love mean to you? Define love, please.
Love to me is everything. I think that a lot of people take for granted there's so many types of love. But I think that love to me means that I am to position myself to be a vessel to do for others like God did for me.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That is good. This is why I love to ask this question because everybody gives me a different answer. And I love the answers that you give me. Oh, my God. That's good. I love that. I love that. So, switching gears a little bit about love, what would you say to a single person right now that's still in the waiting stage? That's like, man, I wish I could find me a young man that would, put me on a pedestal, or vice versa, with a guy that looking for his wife and he's preparing himself. What would you just say to the single individual? Any piece of advice you would give them?
I would first start off by saying that, I have been for the Proverbs 31 woman to appear in my life for, and for some reason, God had me on this quest to understand the woman more, because I figured, you know what, I have made so many mistakes in the past trying to figure this thing out called woman, to where I was like, you know what, I got to figure this out. So what better way to figure this out than go to God's word and understand what his intentions was but the creation of man and woman, and why it's so important that we have a woman. Because I was like, you know what, it hurts so bad sometimes when you get it right. Maybe I don't need a man. but you look at it from the right perspective. I think that for us to be able to meet someone that can handle how screwed up we are.
What? Ooh, stop right there. Stop right there. Repeat that one more time.
He intended for us to meet someone that can handle how screwed up we are, because what purpose is love when there's not an issue? And so a lot of people shy away from how messed up they are. But the reality is we were all created with a lot of imperfections. None of us are perfect. So therefore, the whole need for the God and man relationship is for us to meet him. Well, I think that if you mirror that in relationships, you got to look at it from that perspective as well. So I decided, you know what, I'm not going to think about it from my perspective as a human. I'm gonna think about it from God's perspective as the creator that created us for love. So when you
Yes.
look at it from that perspective, if you really are looking for your true love, you have to first be honest about the fact that you need it. That's number one. And another thing is, the hurt that we experience in life, all it does is prepare us to be able to deal with the hurt that we're going to experience when we meet our significant other. Because guess what? I want to newsflash. When you marry someone and you fall in love with someone, there are going to be some days where you don't love that person so much. And
That's
so
right.
the reality is when you make yourself committed to being able to love this person in their most vulnerable state, when they're in
Yes.
needed time, when they're in their most crazy mindset. If you can love in spite of all those things, this person, if you choose that person to do that with, and they do the same thing for you, it is actually the perfect situation for you. And so stop looking for something perfect, but look for the imperfections and learn to love that person no matter what. And I think that's the commitment that we have to make when we're looking for the right person. And if you're not mature enough to identify that love is not for you, it's for the other person, then you're probably not going to find it until you're ready to accept that's what the reality is about having a relationship and being in love with someone.
Wow. When I tell you, you just preached a whole sermon, you just preached a whole sermon. Oh my God.
You set me up, doctor. That's why they call you. You know what question?
Of course. I told you. I said we ain't gonna do no pre questions, no nothing. We just gonna have a love doctor conversation. That's it. We just have. But I'm loving all of your answers, and that explains the glow that you have on your face. That explains the joy that you have every time I talk to you about your family and all of that. And I mean, you guys are just a beautiful family. But everything you're saying now is mirroring what you're explaining to me. You know what I mean? Like we've never had this kind of conversation before. So to have it here and let the audience really dive into what your thoughts are, I mean, it's remarkable because it really shows who you are. When a person really don't know who you are until you open up your mouth and you start speaking.
Yes,
We've had business conversations, all those type of conversations, but we've never had a conversation on love and relationships. So this is perfect. It mirrors who you are. I love this. Absolutely love this.
I have to say, Doctor, I proposed to my wife the first. It didn't even happen in the end of the date. It happened in the beginning of the date.
Wait a minute. Can you repeat that? Because your internet broke up. Repeat it. I want the people to hear what you just said.
I proposed to my wife on the first date. didn't even happen at the end of the date. It happened at the beginning of the date because I had for this person, I had missing my better half, and I was like, you know what, God, I don't want this. I don't want a girlfriend. I want a wife. 42 years old. I'm not looking for somebody to date. I'm looking for show me something supernatural because this is the one area of my life that I have not gotten right.
Yes.
So I know that at this point, you're gonna have to choose the right woman. But I understood that I had to become the right man to attract and be seeking the right king to find the right woman. And so
Yeah.
when you identify that the issue is never the other person, the issue is always, I decided to say, you know what? I'm messed up enough. I messed up enough. I made enough mistakes. It's time for me to get wise enough to learn that, you know what? It's not about me when it comes to finding the right mate for me. The creator that created me has someone he created just for me. And so when
That's right.
that principle, I just believe. And so when I met this young lady, he showed me a sign because I'm never afraid. Listen, I'll get in front of the world and talk anything. I sports. I've been on stage before. I perform. I've been a performer my entire life since 5 years old. So I don't have this nervousness about myself when it's time to make people feel good about the talents that God has blessed me with. Play those talents. But when I touched this woman's hand, true story, I felt butterflies in my stomach. I didn't understand what that meant at that time.
Yeah.
But when I was in my hotel room and take a nap, I couldn't for thinking about it. Butterflies stayed in my stomach the whole night, and they didn't leave. I talked to her this morning.
Wow, that's it.
I remember meeting me, and I didn't get offended because I think a lot of myself. So normally the ego would say, you know what, she don't know who I am, don't even worry. But on this situation, I was like, I said, Trina, please don't, please, just go to coffee. Let's have some. I was determined to go coffee, breakfast, whatever we can do. And so when Connie said yes, she would meet me because she said that nobody calls her Trina. And she asked me, why did I call her Trina? I said, I don't know. It just came out. And she said, you know what? I'll meet you. She said, God told her on the flip side that it was okay to meet with me when I called her a name, nobody else calls her. So all I'm saying, my intentions were to be able to find the woman that God had for me.
Yes.
I acknowledged that it wasn't just a want, a need that was burning inside of me for so many years, trying to figure out how to find that person that can love me through my mess. And so I didn't want to date. I was in. So fellas, if you want to find the right one, just know you got to be intentional. And say something about us men. When we decide that we gonna find it, and God gonna. So that's my take on finding a woman. Now, being a woman, I'm not a woman, but I was raised by some beautiful women. The one thing I understood about the things my wife has told me about being prepared and how God was preparing her for me is that she learned how to love herself the way she was made to love her.
Yes. Totally agree. Now now people always know that when I have my stamp of approval or something, I'll say the love doctor approves this message. I approve that message. You got my stamp of approval. So, shifting gears, let's move along. I would love to for you to let's get into business a little bit.
Okay.
I would love you to share with the people what you do and the value that you bring to the community. And the reason why I want to put a twist on this is because we've talked about love. We talked about how you met your wife. We talked about, and for the ones who didn't hear him clearly, he said when he met his wife, he said he proposed to her right then and there at the top of the conversation, not at the bottom, at the top of the conversation. So I want you, I want that to just sit for a minute. So for all my sisters, don't give up on love. Don't give up on love. And for the ones who don't know, I've been saying this for a while, but I actually hired a professional that we're getting ready to do some things, and trust me, it's going to benefit the ones who are single. Just trust what I tell you. But y'all know I don't put anything together. I don't have to do nothing. So it has to be right. But it's in the making. We are going to make sure we do something for singles. It is in the making right now. So please don't give up on love, because your king can be right around the corner, just like it was for Mr. Early when he said, God, I don't want a girlfriend. I don't want a date. I want a wife. He knew what he wanted. He prepared himself. His wife was already prepared. And when they met, that was it. That was the moment. That was the destination. That was the destined for their lives. They was destined. So don't give up on love. But listen, we got to switch gears, because even with love, you still have to handle your business wise. And so I want Mr. Early to explain to us how he has blessed the community and what he does. And the thing that he does is so valuable to us. It is so valuable to us because if we don't take care of our business with the tools and resources that he's about to bless us with, that can affect your love life too. So if you're single, you want to handle your business wise, with the importance of your business credit and your personal credit. So I'm going to let him do what he do and let him explain to you. I guess we could either start with personal or business, but go ahead and just explain what you do with people and how you help the community, because this right here is your lane. It's all yours.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lynette. You're so awesome and so amazing. I just want to thank you so much for inviting me. My wife thanks you as well. She told me to tell
you. Okay.
Phenomenal. We really remember that we live in a system called the American system. I learned that the American system was a corporation, and the way that it operated from a holistic standpoint, it kind of gave me a new perspective on my place in America. And so I decided, I had a choice to make. I could be the lender or the borrower, right? And so some of us come from humble beginnings, which I was one of those humble beginnings. I wasn't taught about finances. I wasn't taught about how to manage money. I was really upset when I got to college, got these credit cards and spent all this money on these credit cards. And then when it came to paying, didn't have to pay them back. And when I realized when I got to be an adult and had responsibility, I needed to find ways to get access to capital, that what I did when I was in college directly connected to my being able to be approved for what I needed as an adult. And so many of us are not in the know of how the system really works. So I did my research, and I got a little bit obsessed about it when I realized, when I was a little bit about it, I wanted to learn more about it, couldn't sleep on it, and I was very intrigued by it. I said, man, this is really amazing, because America has a system that is so phenomenal. Only when you learn to identify that there's a way to work for you. And so when you live in poverty, you come up in poverty, and you realize that, all the things that I see on television don't look nothing like what's around me every day. God blessed me to be able to get past the mark, to be able to identify and understand the legality of how American culture works. And I decided that, as an African-American male, it is my responsibility not only to learn this information, but to share it with the public, those who God has blessed me to share it with, and do the best I can to make sure that the integrity and the loyalty is involved. But I want to piggyback off something you said before I started, because I think that I never thought about it this way until we talked, but directly connected to the flow of how you do business. And what I mean by that, there's a bridge. Do anything is how you do everything. How you live your life on the outside of business is directly connected to how you do business, and how you perform directly connected to the flow of love. So I just want to tie that in, because you really helped me with that, and I want to thank you for that.
Yeah.
Because the reality, why do we do what we do? The reason why I get up every morning and I look at and I groom myself to be able to perform in society is because I decided to respect me in a certain way. I want to be able to be respected by the people that God has put in my path as someone that can be an advancement or even. So in that being said, I've always liked nice things. I never knew why. I always wanted the most expensive stuff. I mean, and around they'll have you think that there's something wrong with you because you want the most. Well, I decided, you know what? I'm not going to listen to the people who are always finding fault in the way that I'm going to investigate and find out, get the hell out. So when I learned that there's a way to do this, then I can help others do the same quality of life that God wants for us. Then I learned that in God's word, He wants us to be blessed, to be successful. And so defined by the individual. So what I thought was, I was trying to figure out, wanted. There was so many. I wanted to do this. I want to do this. I'm good at a lot of things, but then how can I find a way to live my life to help other people achieve their dreams and goals? Because that's really generally what I want for my life. So this business, I understand the American system and be able to understand the legality loopholes that America has put in place. But those of us who are diligent, determined to learn these things, we have an advantage to be able to capitalize off of the system that sometimes seems like it's on top of us. So when I realized it, my life became a whole lot more lighter, my sleep became a lot more deeper, and my ability to love became a whole lot more advanced. I was able to be able to express myself in my highest expression of myself and do it in a way to where I was unapologetic about it. And I was able to walk in who I was with pride and integrity, and at the same time represent God in the process. So what better way to live your life than to know that, you know what, system, I understand it, but then not only that, God has blessed me with it to apply to my life to work for me to where I can help them get to the same level or even higher than me. So beautiful way of living life. So the one thing I say to you guys about credit, credit is strictly an avenue to get access to capital that it to make major purchases. And whatever that purchase is, it can be your business, home, car, whatever business is, whatever you accomplish. Credit is a major tool that you can use. Notice I said something that you have to worship. No, I said tool that you can be able to accomplish whatever financial goal you have. And I realized long term that there's two type of people. One is a person that is always trying to figure out how to get there and or don't want it. Or there's a who figured it out, right? They want to see other people do the same thing. I decided to be the latter. I be the guy that develop life and help other people. So I came up with a formula that has worked for me. I started from zero, made millions of dollars by way of real estate. But then I realized that there was no way I could buy a real estate property if I didn't have the money to buy the property to turn around and sell for a higher price. And then I realized, you know what? If you got a 750 or better credit score, you have a proper DTI, you have the proper utilization of your file, then the banks will lend you the money and charge you a small percentage to put you in position to be able to buy the property you need. So you mean to tell me that I can use the bank's money to make a living and not have to go build a house myself with my hands? Now I have to get my hands dirty because I ain't never been a guy that want to get my hands too dirty. So I said, you know what? I decided that I'm gonna learn how to master this process. And what I learned was all the people that I loved and cared about, all the people that looked like me. What I learned was 90% of those individuals were not prepared to be able to take the great news that I had learned. And so I started We Raised the Credit Score so that I can educate people in how to position themselves to get access to the bank's money to do whatever it was that God put in them to do. And so that's how I got started with the personal side. But then I realized, wait a minute, America is a business corporation, and all the tax benefits, all the nonprofit benefits, all come through by way of owning a business. So everybody on this broadcast, that if you don't have a business, just go get set up one, just in case you might pass it on. That's coming up behind. Tell you something. When I learned how you can write things off, how you can not pay taxes based on the legal system, I learned that you can benefit having your own business and pay taxes and benefit yourself in a way to where, man, it is nothing like the quality of life that we live now based on the information we have and how the banks are so friendly. The business is what holds the country together. It's what makes it so amazing. When I had learned growing up all the things that we couldn't have to have access to it. It's learned from a business standpoint, personal, this and pay less tax. Then wait a minute. The true advantage business owner. So that right there made me real crazy with learning to position myself from a businessman to be able to invest in things, allow me to be able to have the tax break, give back to my nonprofit, save on taxes, and do a good thing for people that look like me. And so what better way to do that than to share the knowledge of how to position yourself to get the 750 credit score, the 800 credit score, and then get the 80 pay that score, and position yourself to be able to get access to the capital from a business standpoint. Because guess what? When you get access to business capital, it multiplies, quadruples. There's no limit to how much money the bank give you. Have your So from a financial standpoint, you have to have the proper. You have to have the proper credit. Not only the credit score, because it's not about the credit score all the time. You can have an 800 credit score because it's levels to it. You can have an 800 credit score, but only be able to borrow 50,000. Or you can have a credit score and get access to a $500,000. Which one do you want to be? So I don't really preach too much about the score as much as I do about credit worthiness, because that's your being where it's supposed to be. The cash flow going where it's supposed to be. So these are principles that I teach individuals to themselves to get the proper start, because I promise you, I lost thousands and millions of dollars over time trying to figure this out, and nobody would help me. I didn't have someone to give me the blueprint. These are things that I have to do, and I went through a lot. I tell you, we'll talk about that one day too, but I went through a lot, and nobody go through the process the way that I went through it. So I said, you know what, God, let's teach them how to really pursue the love that they have, whatever it is they want to, and position them to be able to have access to the information to position them to do the things that can be done based on the system that we live in, to let it work. Then I think the dream come true for me. So I'm so privileged to have to be able to speak to broadcast to your people that this principle, because the bottom line, whatever you want, God, and you can have it.
Right. So I want you to repeat the part about the credit score, because most people think that you got to be in the sevens or you got to have 800, or, you know, and that's the only thing that would help you get something. But I want to make sure that they heard what you said about you can have an 800, but you may be only eligible to get 50,000. You want to show them how to be able to leverage and get more if they are in the 800. So repeat that, what you said about the scores, because everybody, we've been trained to think that the scores matter.
The score does matter to a certain degree. It's an algorithm. But what they're really looking for is your credit worthiness. How to money. Okay. So just think about it, Dr. Ledette. If I come to you and say, okay, I know you don't know me, but hey, can you borrow 150 grand from you? And just say you're a bank. That's what you do for a living. You lend money out, right? But you lend the money to, right? So first thing you're gonna do is look at my credit report, which is a report card of your financial life, right? Your history. And it tell you a story that tells you how I manage my money over time. Do you want to lend your money to somebody that's been irresponsible? Do you want to lend your money to someone that's moved all over the place all the time, that's not stable? Or do you want someone that not only has managed money properly, but they went through the process to grow themselves in that place, but you can see where they're headed. And you can write a story that makes sense of what your mission is as a bank, because banks have missions. This is another, I do research on those. I found out what this bank mission is. Who do they like lending money to? They might like lending to real estate, because maybe the owner talks about for real estate, because maybe he's a great investor himself. He can make money with it. Maybe he's a business owner who comes from a humble beginning. Now his goal is to open up a bank to help small business owners. So whatever that bank personality is, I do my best to position my clients to position themselves to be a part of that bank based on what they do. So, but when you look at the credit worthiness, somebody can ask you for 150,000. The only thing you have to look at is my credit report. And so your credit report is a story about your financial history and what you've been through in life. And it has a lot of things that we don't know about that I teach people and I break down to individuals. This is what the bank is looking at. This is how they see you. Get out of your feelings. Okay. Life happens. We all go through stuff, right? Well, let's fix it. Fix the credit report is the thing. what I really think is super important, Dr. Ladette,
Mm-hmm.
our mindset. We
Yes.
our mind about how money works, and we do the
Right.
research, educate ourselves on how money works. So as a
Mhm.
consultant, my major responsibility not just to teach you about a credit score, to teach you about it,
Right.
but how to maintain, grow it by changing your
Right.
lifestyle.
Right. Right. That's right. That's right. So I'm loving that we're having this credit conversation. And people, one thing that people know about me is that I am completely transparent about things when we get on certain conversations, especially about love and about any knowledge that I can share to bless people. And that's the reason why you're on this line, because um, my husband and I have gotten to know you personally. We're actually doing business with you, and you're right now actually blessing our lives. And I want to share that blessing to people and let them know that I'm not ashamed to tell people when someone, we're going through something or whatever. I've shared a lot of our testimonies over the years. You just had to either be in the room or know me or at that place where I spoke or whatever. But I just want to say it today, right now, today, that Mr. Early is working on my husband and my credit. He's working on our personal credit right now. And we've been in the program for about maybe close to 30 days. And we got a phone call the other day from Mr. Early and his assistant, it's been like maybe a month, that our scores have both went up. Mine went up 20 points and my husband's went up 25 points. And that's within the first 30 days. And it could have been sooner than that. It could have been like 3 weeks, but I think the update came around the 30th day. And to me, that was everything. That feels good, because what it was is a lot of stuff on there that was lingering on there that should have been off long time ago. But the creditors they want that stuff to linger on there, and they want you to be in a position to where you get a higher interest rate and all of that. So my credit is strong, paid my bills on time and all of that, but I had a lot of stuff on there that should have been removed and shouldn't have been on there in the first place. A lot of old stuff that just been lingering on. And so after speaking to Mr. Earl, I'm like, you know what? I need my scores to go up higher, and I need my credit worthiness to show. Because I've been buying and financing stuff for a long time, and I want the best of the best, and that's what I'm known for. That's what I do anyway. So I want to go even higher. So what I'm doing right now, Mr. Ladette and myself, is we are preparing ourselves for 2023, because it's right around the corner. And so I want to be connected to people that where we all win. So I told Mr. Early, I'm like, you know what, this is too good for me not to share with people. So Mr. Early and I, we talked about it. And, for those of you guys who are very, very interested, before we get off this broadcast, I'm going to let him tell you how to get in touch with him or his assistant. And just we can, if you like, we can set up a Zoom call for you guys, or his assistant could set up a Zoom call free of charge. Just get some more information and let him get into deep detail about it. Because this right here is just a scratch of the surface. When you get on that line, he is so passionate about it. He's going to tell you the ins and outs. There's so many people that I've got online talking about, yeah, I can do this, I can do that. And we're not going to even get into the stories of all the people who said what they could do for me and just took my money and didn't do nothing for me. Or, yeah, I don't even want to go down that road. But what I am saying is, when I first met Mr. Early through another mutual friend of ours, he caught my attention, and I kept saying, I'm gonna sign up with him. I'm gonna let him take care of our business. And then of course the wine lunch, and I got busy with that, and I got taken in all these different directions. And it circled back to me like months later. And I said, you know what? I'm ready to do it right now. And I did it. And I'm so glad that I did, because now that he's positioning me to help build the personal credit, and then the business credit is right on time with the other people that I've met. That's going to help me with a whole lot of other things that I'm working on right now. So do yourself a favor, and don't be like, oh, I can't afford it right now, all of that. It's worth it, because the things and the people that I'm connected with right now, which I'll be sharing with them later, they are giving me so much information of what's about to come down the pipeline for funding for Black businesses and all of these things. You want to be ready. You want to be in position. They always say, if you don't have to get ready if you stay ready. So if you take out the time and just make this a priority. I promise you, by the end of the year going into 23, you're going to be sitting pretty. You're going to be able to put your name on whatever you want to, and let Mr. Early guide you. Him and his team, he has a team and he has an assistant. Let them guide you and get you in the right direction. Prepare yourself for 23. Don't just be sitting back saying, oh, when my income tax come, blah, blah, blah. That's old school. You know, when you want to be blessed and be on a higher level, you want to get around people on a higher level than you, where they can elevate you up to where they at. And the elevation starts with knowledge. Get this knowledge from Mr. Early. Let him and his people help you. And like I said again, he's helping me and my husband. I'm getting my help, and I'm not afraid to say it. I'm putting it out there. That's just who I am. I'm real like that, and that's what it is. And before, when we hang up this phone or whatever, I've already told my family. I got them. They're tuning in right now. I've already told them, when we get off this phone, I want all y'all to sign up, because I want them to be blessed with me, because I know what's getting ready to come down the pipeline. I want them to be ready right along with me. So I'm sharing this blessing with you guys because I know what's getting ready to come down the pipeline, and I just suggest that you take advantage of it. So, Mr. Early, anything else you want to add to that?
But I want to thank you and your husband, and you guys. I want you to know it's an honor, blessing to be able to serve, allow me to be able to use the talent that God has given me. Because not often do you find people that will put themselves in a position to share with people what's working for them. And I think it's very to do that. Really beautiful thing. It's all about. It's all about us helping and creating a community that we can help serve others. Right. That's what it's all about. Right. So hey, if you're out there right now, you look to change your life, and you're looking at this broadcast right now, there's a reason why you're on this broadcast, for one. Yes. When you're connected to phenomenal people, Dr. Ladette and her husband, and I just think that it's really testament to be able to say, hey, I'm working on my, and I know I'm going somewhere. And if you want to go with us, hey, we help you get there. So I'm just honored to be with you guys. I know that you're going places that I know God is supposed to be about you guys. I couldn't even sleep the first 2 nights I met y'all. Y'all had me so excited just to hear the things that you got, history that you're making. And I've already tested the fine out, by the way. If you ain't tested
you know about this, don't you? You know about this, don't you?
Serious. I mean, but you won't let me invest, y'all. Y'all let them know. Hey, Early really want him. So somebody on this that's serious about it. It's all about us coming together and creating a community that can support each other. We need each other, y'all. And so whatever I can help you, whatever information I'm share with you, I'm not telling you guys. Really and truly, I'm giving you the information that I know that anybody really striving to go to a level that's been praying for something that's great to happen in life, you make it. Like, I never want to be a part of something. I want to do it on my own. Every dream that I needed help doing so. So to be connected to that, and you guys right now, to be able to have a relationship, to be able to express to you guys some information that most people charge you for, and then have an opportunity to be able to see you grow over time. Because the banks, I love about the bank is I see myself as being a bank. And so we can create our own bank. You know what I mean? We can create our own situation where we can fund each other and help each other grow, and then benefit at the same time to be able to see each other express that and show other people and our young people how to see themselves as being independent. I think it's a beautiful opportunity to be able to work together and do so. So my goal right now is to educate you, give you the information that you need to position you to live your best life. And that's what this is all. And we're going to do it all in love, baby. We're going to do it all in love.
That's right. All in love, through love, all of that. When I was.
Thank you so much.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not sure if you understood my question or not, but when I had this whole big old thing I wanted to do, and I was going to introduce you, and because I was just so excited about it, and I texted you and I said, "What's your favorite song?" Did you say First Class? That's that's what I thought, and I was gonna bring it on. I was like, "Oh my God!" I said, "But I want to make sure." But I love that, because anytime you put your mindset to be first class, that's what it is. Whatever you set your mind to it, that's what happen. That's what will happen, and that's what will manifest. Period. So I'm going to give the people back their time, but I want you to give out the information as to how you can be reached and how they can follow up with you. And, either they can get in touch with, you tell them how you want them to get in touch with you. And if they want me to host a Zoom call with you, or you guys, you and your assistant, y'all do a Zoom call, however you want it. I just want the people to get the information because they need that information from you and they need to get signed up with you because, like I said, what's going to happen is if you guys sleep on what I'm trying to tell you, a few months later, when I come and say, do A, B, and C and apply for A, B, and C, and you need A, B, and C, you're going to wish you hadn't missed the moment. So I'm telling you, I have Mr. Early on here for a reason. Everything I do is with a purpose. And this purpose is I'm trying to share love with you with this knowledge and information that he has, because I'm going to be announcing some more information toward funding and all these type of things coming up the pipeline. But if you don't have your things in order, you're going to miss it. You're going to miss the opportunity. So go ahead and tell them how they can reach you and have one-on-one or Zoom call, whatever. Just give them your information on how you can be reached.
Yes. I'm an old school guy. I like to talk to people. So if you want to reach me, I'm gonna give you my number because Dr. Ledette is super important to me. The relationship I have with her and her husband is super important to help her network get where they want to be. And I think that it's really important that we have direct connections with each other. So my number is 318-560-9914. And what I would do is once we communicate, I would give you access to my assistant. She would schedule an appointment for us. And however you want to communicate that way, we'll do so. And so to call that number, 318-560-9914. That's Demetrius Early at 318-560-9914. Or you can just message me, Demetrius Early. And so just don't take this lightly. If you're ready to go to the level, the next level is right here on this line. If you don't feel it,
that's right. That's right. And I want to say this, I could be letting the cat out of the bag, but I'm not going to. Let me just say this. Mr. Early will be here in Houston in a couple of weeks. So we might be able to make something happen while he's here. Y'all might be able to meet him in person. So, take advantage of this opportunity. Take advantage of this opportunity because I'm telling you, it's some things coming down the pipeline. And y'all know when I say and I put my mouth on something, it happens. So I'm trying to just prepare you for what's coming. So take advantage of this information. Take advantage of Mr. Early. He's very passionate about this. And let's all win together. Let's win together through love. That's my only wish for you today. And let me tell y'all something. I have to really love y'all, and I have to really love Mr. Early and his family. Do y'all know what today is? I hadn't even said anything, but today is my original anniversary of the date that I met Mr. Ledette 30-something years ago. Okay? Today is my original day, and I'm on here on live, working, you know what I mean? Working and sharing love, and I know he in there ready to pop a taste of love so we can have a little toast to the day because we know what today is. Yeah.
Maybe to talk to you today. You guys enjoy yourselves, and if anything I can do, y'all let me know. We're here. Thank you so much for your time, and God bless you guys.
Absolutely. Okay, Mr. Early, you stay on the line. I'm just going to disconnect from social media. Give me just a minute.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you guys, we are signing off.